Welcome back, everybody. We are keeping on trend with the topic of World Health Day, which is today. And we're now going to be speaking with a cancer survivor. Her name is Abigail Gittins. She's also a motivational speaker. It is my pleasure to chat with Abigail right
She also working here.
Yes.
Don't make it sound so. Be good with Abigail. Abigail, you all right?
Yeah, good.
Morning. Thanks for joining us on set this morning.
You're welcome. Wow, look at this new set. Wow.
And well, Abigail reminded me that I actually met her in 2018. That was when I just started here on the morning show. I didn't remember. Sorry, I apologize.
Is that like when you was Carrie Robot?
Okay.
Was that exactly when I was Carrie Robot? Hashtag Carrie Robot.
Now, Abigail, you at the age of 22, you were diagnosed
Yes.
with what?
Well, it's called Nonhodgkins lymphoma. So it has two types, Nonhodgkins and Hodgkins. So I had Nonhodgkins.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I know about mine.
All right, tell me about yours.
Okay, so there's something called lymphocytes, which is practically white blood cells. And when my white blood cells, they were fighting a disease, whatever it was in my body, and they multiplied a lot. So they started to build on top each other.
The white blood cells.
The white blood cells, and that caused lumps in my lymphatic system.
Okay.
So I would like to say that my white blood cells were so awesome that they just couldn't stop, and that happened.
They were just so awesome.
They were so awesome.
They just had to keep growing.
They had to keep going.
All right. How did you feel when you heard the news though, the first time?
Well, my mom cried more than I did. I didn't cry because I was like, well, I have this thing, so I have to beat it. I am only 22. I have my whole life ahead of me. So I was just like, buckle down, do what I had to do, beat it, get it over with.
And were there any symptoms? Did you feel unwell at all? Was there anything that you experienced physically to even hint at that there was something going on in your body?
How you find out? It was there.
Okay, so the mass was in my chest, by my heart, right on top of my lungs. So it was pressing down on my lungs.
Okay.
And I started to get shortness of breath, and I couldn't even lie down on the bed. There was a point in time I had to sit up like this and sleep because there was such a pressure on my chest that I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk, so I decided to go and get an x-ray, and it showed up a mass in my chest 11 centimeters by 7 or 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
and
lot.
then you went. So you did chemo.
I did 6 rounds of chemotherapy and radiation as well.
Okay.
So, well,
And did you suffer the symptoms of chemo? Because I know that there are side effects as well.
yeah.
And the unwell feeling and
I got,
such.
well, I lost all my hair. I was really big before. Well, they put me on steroids before, so I gained a lot of weight. And I lost my hair after. I lost a lot of weight, and I just put everything back on now.
And what was it like going through that process? You know, like how did you feel seeing these changes in your body when you've had to have done chemo and stuff? What did it feel like at first? You know, as a young person, and you know something as dramatic as losing your hair. How was that for you?
I cried a lot when I lost my hair because I had such nice hair. And I struggled to grow my hair to where it was. And I had such nice hair, so I cried a lot. People cry with me, my mom mostly. But I had a lot of support. And it was sad, but I got through it.
And you're here with us today to tell the story.
Exactly.
You know, so tell us about your support system around you, and you know what your relationship was with them before, what your relationship has been with them going through it, and now that you're past it, what's it like with them?
So my support system, well, my family is very close. We have family worship every single day, either morning or evening. So we were close, but this brought us together because everybody was so worried about me. I was so young to go through this. My dad was a champion. My dad would go to the hospital with me in Mount 2 because that's where I did my chemo.
Right.
I had to sit. We reached 7 o'clock, sometimes 4 o'clock in the evening. We now get in a bed because I have to get a private room. And he would sit with me. He would bring food for me every single day. They had to stop my chemo for 2 months because of Corona. And he would just pack me up with food.
Wait, this is recent?
Yes. This was during COVID.
It's during COVID all this happened?
Yes.
So this is in the last year? What trouble is this?
I'm like 7 months fresh. I used to come to work here every morning and leave after the morning show to go to St. James for radiation.
Right.
My first month.
And so you no longer have to do radiation?
I finished 2 weeks ago.
That's incredible. You know,
Abigail working here all the time and we didn't know. Listen, all like every morning she come in here and she's always coming and be like, "Good morning, saints of God."
Yes.
And
always so bright and cherry.
So bright and cherry. You would never know that you know. And this is the thing we always say is like you never know what people going through.
Yeah.
So treat people
with kindness.
Yeah, treat them good. Treat them. Ah, boy. So Abigail, how important is it to you now to manage your health?
It is very important because sometimes it's kind of scary. It might come back because I didn't get to do an operation.
Right.
So
to take out everything.
To take out everything because of where it was really risky for the doctors to go in. When they did the biopsy, they made me sign a waiver to say they could puncture my lungs. And I'm there like, that's nice. And I cried the whole biopsy. And the doctor was like, and what is wrong with you? All right.
What is wrong with me? So you just tell me you can puncture my lungs. What do you mean what's wrong with man? You're going in?
And it was like a really long needle. I hate needles,
Yeah.
but I got better at taking them. Not the IV, but just the needles, because the pain different. You learn the difference of pain after time.
I would imagine so. I really would imagine so. But you managed and you came out of it on top. You know what?
Is there a way? Just before we Sure. Is there a way to make sure that you don't get it back? Like, is there a particular foods you should be eating or a particular way you should be living, exercise or some kind of thing?
Exercise. I should be exercising. Should be. That is important. But the foods, eat broccoli. I drink a lot of lemon water. I eat a lot of pineapple because those foods strip cancer cells.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I have to do research. I drink a lot of green juices. I don't drink it so often because how I reach to work so early.
I know the struggle.
Yeah. But every morning I start with a cup of bay leaf tea or soursop tea. Soursop tea is very good for cancer cells.
Okay.
So
what do you mean good for it? Like you good to kill it?
It's good to kill it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm making sure.
So, so I drink every morning. I start my day with a cup of bush tea.
Bush tea. You know, the grandparents had it right, you know?
Yeah.
Bush tea is the bay.
Yeah.
And when you got the news that you were cancer free, tell us about that. When you got that
in the
information.
doctor office. I was like, I want to thank God and thank everybody because I made my YouTube channel, I made my Facebook blog, and everybody was so supportive. Sometimes I would have to just leave my phone alone because I had so many messages when the day came, and I thank everybody for messaging me, but you know, you just can't deal with the phone sometimes, so I would check my phone once for the day, answer some people, and I would just rest it back down because it was so much. So I thank everybody for really coming through.
Did the doctors ever tell you what caused your white cells to start reacting that way?
No, they don't really know what is start non-Hodgkins.
Yeah.
They don't really know.
And tell us more about your motivational speaking. What is that like? Did you start it when you were going through your trial, or is it something that you were doing beforehand, or what?
So I started it during my trial, and because I was like, there's so many people going through cancer, and they don't really talk about it.
Right.
And I've never heard of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma before, and I was so like baffled to see the research that I did and what came up. So I say I will share my story and share my journey with others so they could learn. And from that, I started my foundation, the Abigails Foundation for women, because now is my time to give back. Because people gave to me in my time of need, so I give them back. So I do a lot of drives. I sponsor young girls. I mostly focus on young women, but I help women in general.
That's such.
And if people wanted to contribute to the foundation, how can they do so?
So they can look up the Instagram page, Abigails Foundation, and you can message me on Instagram. There's also my email on the Instagram page, so they can message me if you have food stuff, clothes. I accept whatever it is.
Abigail, you're big out here, you know.
You would never know. You would never know how because you're quiet and you don't broadcast all that out there.
But she does
walk around.
on YouTube.
Well, on YouTube.
She legit broadcasts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom would be so happy to hear that.
What I would say though, Abigail, is that you don't let it get you down. You never did. It doesn't seem like that.
Yeah.
I never cried. People cry more than
I
I
just
cry.
say you cry when you hear you was cancer free. Make up your mind.
Well, oh gosh, when I was cancer free, I was happy.
But congratulations on beating it, and continue to keep up the fight. And continue to keep your personality the way it is, because...
And continue to inspire others.
You can have like a down spirit, because if you have a down spirit, that in itself will affect you.
Yeah.
You have to just beat it. And I have so much people come to me for advice, what to eat, what to do, you know, so that's just...
Were you worried about it with the pandemic going on, plus having this cancer to deal with? Did you feel...
My parents did not let me leave that house, not even to walk by the gate. So I was not worried. Okay. I was in my house. I come out for sun. They used to wake me up 7 o'clock for sun, because the 7 o'clock sun is a form of good radiation.
Yeah, good radiation.
Yeah.
Well, Abigail, we want to thank you so much for joining us on set this morning to discuss your surviving cancer and your journey, and hopefully encourage some young people as well to be able to go through their journey. So thank you so much, Abigail. Keep up the great work. We'll be back inside the next hour, ladies and gentlemen. We have news coming up at the top, and we have more inside the next hour here in the Now Morning Show. This is TTT and TTT Live Online. Stay tuned. We'll be back.